This is our first night's camp on the Woodlines near the CC Hunt track. We've passed over a railway line which is probably behind us a little bit. It's from around 1910, so it's going to be quite hard to find. I think we've spotted a horse yard on Google Earth, so we're going to go out and have a look for that today sometime. And then there's another one that's in front of us that way, and that's about 1.5 kilometres. And we try and find that in the next 2 or 3 days as well. So join us for this trip where we look for the woodlines.
I'm looking forward to it.
It's a long 500 kilometre trip in the Ocker, travelling at only 90 k's an hour, especially with a lot of road traffic including heavy haul trucks going eastwards. We found the Hunt track during our last trip, so we were able to work out where we needed to turn, but we did pull off the road first to let a lot of built up traffic pass us. The week before our trip there was a lot of rain in the area. We were to hit some muddy spots and come across several downed trees. We usually take the time to clear the fallen trees to prevent the need for making bypass tracks. And when we clear these trees, we let the tools do the hard work and make the cut sections more manageable. And we try to clear the whole width of the track. The trees in this area are shallow rooted and fall over easily with saturated soil and a bit of wind. We have been clearing woodline tracks for 20 years now, and it is a never-ending task. And this is where I made my first mistake. Before selecting four-wheel drive, I got out and locked the freewheeling hubs, or so I thought. After having cataract surgery, I don't need glasses for long distance anymore, but I do for reading, but I didn't have them on. And this is the result. We slid into some mud and couldn't get out, until we checked why the front wheels weren't turning. It looks like one wheel was locked and one wheel was free. What a dummy. None of this was recorded, so I can say it didn't happen. But see how easy it is with four-wheel drive selected properly? Once we are in camp, we unload the bikes and prepare them for work. So back out in the woodlines again, we're getting ready to go out in the motorbikes, hunt down this horse yard that's up that way. Paul is now doing his yearly maintenance. We always do this in the bush because it's much more effective to do the maintenance in the bush.
How did I know that was fucking coming?
Might help if you turned the key on.
It was on when I was doing it.
This is the kill switch. Motorbikes don't start with the kill switch turned on. Getting ready to go out the motorbikes. I'm just going to set up the base radio so that Julie can keep in contact with us while we're out in the bush. We often ride more than 5 kilometres away from our campsite through the scrub where there are no tracks. This radio is just one of our safety features in case something does actually go wrong. Fortunately, where we are camped, we also have some phone coverage, which is unusual. And this is what our campsite looks like from above. While this is the bush we will be riding through, it is hard to believe that a railway track used to run through here 100 years ago. We start our search by following an old exploration line. The railway routes are so old that most of the evidence of the track has disappeared, so we are relying on satellite imagery and our own homemade maps. No, the track's going that way, so this is not leading us anywhere. So we've just got to go through the bush now. Where? No, we're not near it. It's still 1.5 kilometres away. We are looking for a horse yard that was spotted on a satellite photo. These are the easiest way to find an old woodline camp. And now we are pushing our way through the bush, simply following a compass bearing. We try hard to avoid the dense scrub, as this is really difficult to ride through. This section is not too bad, but we try to aim for the tall trees, as the lower scrub under them is not so dense generally. This is our first trip out to find the old horse yards. We found one. Took a bit of effort because the tracks I had plotted were not quite where they were, but I saw this horse yard on Google Earth and we rode to it pretty much straight away. And there's a few artefacts. We're going to scavenge around and have a look and see what's out here. The other guy's already wandering around. What's it got on it?
An H.
zoom into that.
But you can see the line of the bottle where it's been made. Oh, you can't see it in the shade probably. But it's green.
Yeah.
And I found this.
Wow. Lucky.
And I found this.
If you did not. Did you just find that? Here? You're shitting me. Are you shitting me? And did not. Where'd you get that from?
The rat house.
Leave it here though, someone will find it and wet their pants.
No, Mark likes the shape there.
No, I might leave it here because someone will wet their pants. Here's a whole pile of Holbrook sauce bottles. And a couple of other ones under the tree here. You can't read the base mark on that. Might help if I put glasses on. Holbrook sauce top. And the bottle. Interesting things that you find on the ground. There are usually heaps of the Holbrook sauce tops, and sometimes you find these. It took a while to work out what they are, but that's the actual ceramic or porcelain stem from a water bag. Pretty cool. Paul's just found an area where there's quite a lot of horseshoes around the place. There's even a broken hub from one of the drays. And a small unlabelled bottle. Yeah, it's got AYER on the bottom. Interesting. And here's another bottle with a very large A on it. Just picked up a little bottle, and underneath it's got Bones written on it. So God only knows what was in it that Bones was selling in little glass bottles.
Another fire.
Couple of big axe heads. Exploring the camp where we just found the old horse yards over there. It's really good being out here again. Weather's a little bit warm. It was pretty cool last night. It's interesting the sorts of trees that get left behind. Makes you wonder how that happened. Always find these old piles that have been bent over both ends, often used for some sort of household tool. Sometimes the bend is a little bit more prominent. They can hang it up and hang pots and things and stuff from them. Hard to see, but look at this. Beautiful little purple bottle. Wandered around a fair bit, haven't been able to find where the rower line used to be. The horse yard is in that area there. What did the horse yards used to look like when the horses were here? Well, here's an image that should show you. They were generally Clydesdales, fairly big horses. That's why the horseshoes are usually massive. And they were the predominant horse out here for carting the wood back to the woodlines. Clinker, that's where they've had a foundry. Yeah,
Like
they would have had a forge or something here.
Yeah, look at the bits of metal.
Yeah, that's off a dray.
There's another bit in here somewhere. Yeah, you got.
Yeah, so this is probably one of the oldest tracks we've actually ridden down. So finding the actual rower line could be quite hard. Well, there's a depression there, so maybe that's where they dug the hole for the horses.
I think it's a depression up there,
But it'd be really close to the rower line.
The mysterious hole I'm referring to is a small dam that was used to accept water from the water cart on the train. The outlet on the wagon was open to allow water to fill the hole to supply the horses,
cigar box.
so this hole had to be very close to the rail track.
There's potentially room for the track to continue down there. It's reasonably clear.
Yeah, but it might not have been. It could, see, these trees tend to grow where the track used to be, so...
The beeping you can hear is an alert device I have set up so we can hear the location of our bikes when we walk into the bush. This is another one of our safety features.
Yep.
This is the end of our first search. Over the following days we discover some more old camps and some very exciting treasures, some of which even surprised us. So stay tuned for the next episodes to see what we find.
This is f***ing cool! Get here quick!